Hi, this is Casey Truby with video 3, and this one's on the second reason that businesses get into trouble. If you can solve this problem, if you isolate it and name it, you can go in and find the good deals to take over and fix them fast so that you can flip them or turn them into a cash cow. Now, distressed small business owners make the same exact 5 mistakes. We talked about that on our last video. Today we're going to cover mistake number 2. They fail to establish a series of systems or processes and measurement tools in writing on how the company's doing. Now, companies generate their own systems by default or by accident. As time goes by, it just happens. For example, if the phone rings, a customer calls in, the staff has already decided how they're going to handle the call, and over time they just come up with the way. And this happened at the water cooler. It's just a loose amalgamation of rules developed in the culture, and this is really done by confused staff who look at each other and say, well, how did you do that, and what do you think we should do here? Well, a failing business has none of those answers in writing, and if you don't have them in writing, you're always going to have a difficult time being successful. There's no way around this, because without rules, no one can be held accountable for quality or productivity. And when someone leaves, it starts all over, because the employee that's leaving takes everything they know with them, and you've got to bring the new hire in and start at the water cooler again. So without a standardized work system in writing, you can't delegate tasks or measure quality successfully. But worse for the owner is that whenever a new event comes up for the first time, everyone turns to the boss. Or every event's a new event if the boss has never given people the authority to just manage their jobs. And this makes the owner crazy, because they spend their entire day solving small problems, which, by the way, is totally the wrong thing to be working on. But in this kind of operation, everyone's unhappy. The boss wastes her time trying to figure out why the company fails, the customers and the stakeholders, and it's the wrong thing to do, and she's frustrated because she should be out creating deals and relationships and joint ventures. This type of business is ripe for takeover, and it makes up 96% of all the small companies with under $1 million in sales. So here's a real important slide. Only 4 out of 100 businesses ever get to $1 million in sales. Only 4 out of 1,000 ever get to 10 million in sales. But big companies realistically only want to buy smaller firms once they hit that 10 million mark. So if you want to sell out for the big multiples, you've got to get bigger. But to get bigger, you've got to believe this business rule in your heart. This is the rule that Peter Drucker wrote that has the most impact on every small business owner. You can't manage what you can't measure. Yet only 4% of all the small businesses in America have got written systems in place. Now, isn't that interesting? Only 4% ever hit $1 million, and only 4% have written systems. Guess what? They're the exact same 4%. Now, here's your opportunity in the find, fix, and flip business. You can post flowcharts in a workflow system like Paperless Overnight. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And just by writing flowcharts and checklists on how you expect things to get done, you can cut operations cost in most companies by 23%. Now, what that means is, let's say you have a certain number of employees. Let's say you have 10 employees doing $1 million a year in sales. A 23% improvement in productivity because of written systems means you can go to $1,230,000 in revenue and no additional employees. And that means profit drops to the bottom line. Simply writing down how you want work done makes your business run better. And interestingly, failing business owners never have the time to get this done. That's when I walk into a business that's having a tough time. They don't have good financials, they don't have good workflow systems, they don't have checklists in place, and they don't have management systems that tell them what's going on every single day. So the owner's tired because all he does is run around from exciting event to exciting event. He might as well be jumping over the desk and putting out fires. And it's sad because the templates on how to do this are available on a lot of websites, and most of the time for very, very little cost. So what we do is we use a system called Paperless Overnight. It's the first thing we do when we take over a new business. We take them totally paperless. All the documents that come in are managed by their service into production, this is what we're doing to get the work done, or into marketing or into finance. And we use a process called bottom up. The lowest paid person does all the work they can, and then they bump the job up on anything that confuses them. But the interesting thing is whenever a piece of paper comes in with work attached, automatically the flow chart or the checklist or the video clip on how to get that work is attached to the document. So if it lands on somebody's desk and they don't know how to do it, they just click on the instruction or the help file in real time, bang, they know exactly what to do. Now, in my businesses, I want to see everything that's important on a dashboard screen in real time. So I actually have 3 screens on my desk with production, marketing, and finance in place so I can see exactly what's going on. And I use Paperless Overnight. It costs about $97 a month, and they manage all of my paper for my small businesses for me. Then I use Infusionsoft. Of course, there are other CRM softwares like Salesforce and Zoho that's a little bit less expensive, but using this lets me know how many leads came in today, what I paid for each one of those leads, what my sales team did to follow that lead up, and how many of these deals are we closing, how many think we'll close in the very near future. I love knowing exactly what's going on in the marketing arena so I can keep driving that business. But most important of all, I love QuickBooks because I have the bookkeeping service post this report for me every day so I know exactly what's going on, and all I've got to do is take about 5 minutes to look at 5 key performance indicators. And that might be, what's our average sale today, how many sales do we make, what's our expenses today. It's different for every business, but I'll look at 5 KPI numbers for about 5 minutes at 5 p.m. every day. As a matter of fact, in my little amalgamation of small companies that I'm finding and fixing so that I can flip them, I have a desk for each one of my businesses, and there's 3 screens on it. And I'm on the company's phone system and their cloud network because we do everything with telephony and cloud computing. So I'm linked to everything that's going on via the internet. So I'm kind of like in my own little pajama kingdom. I know everything that's going on all the time, though. Now, a lot of business owners will look at that, especially if you're thinking about buying a competitor or buying another business for the opportunities there to flip the business quickly. And you might say, well, how could I ever afford something like that? Well, it's actually pretty amazing because there are a lot of accounting firms out there that offer this as a bundled service for just about what you're paying the bookkeeper on that business you're about to acquire. So if the bookkeeper's getting $15 an hour, that's $30,000 a year. That's just about what it would cost to have somebody come in and do everything, and they include the bookkeeping in it. So they do the whole 9 yards, but you're running the business in a couple of hours a day from your control station, and you don't even have to be in the company to know what's going on. You can do this from your barn in Wyoming if you want. But here's something even more exciting. When you decide to flip this business, you're going to be able to get better multiples if you have systems in place. Then it's easy for anyone to understand how they're going to walk in, sit down, and take over the company, and they're willing to pay more for a business. And I'm talking about instead of getting 2 times cash flow or 3 times cash flow, you might get 3 or 4 times cash flow if you've got written systems in place so the business is easy to understand. My name is Casey Truby. Thank you for listening to video 3. I own several businesses. Most of them I got into at almost no money down or none of my own money, and was able to build using this system of knowing exactly what's going on. I've been able to build them to successful companies spinning off dividends to us every month. Thank you for watching. We'll look forward to talking to you on video 4, where we're going to talk about why we spend so much time doing the exact wrong thing in a business and why that kills our cash flow. And if we understand this on next week's video, if we understand where our time should be spent and invested, then it's going to be far easier to walk into the distressed company and turn it around and make it work fast. Thank you for watching.